I think last time it was me. Or no, it was you. So it's me now.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. Hoosier Main. I am Jared, and this is my co-host,
Anthony.
Very robotic. Very good. Last time we were talking about... What were we talking about?
We're talking about torchbearers.
Oh, right. The torch bearing. I really did forget. Fucking blank when I have to.
This is you don't lock it up. This is a professional podcast we're doing now.
I thought it was amateur hour. I'm here. I'm here.
I'll show you amateur hour.
I'll show you. Wait a minute. That's what we're doing tonight.
Oh.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
I don't know what we left off on. Which one did we leave off on?
I don't remember.
Why didn't I fucking write that down?
We were talking. Yeah, we should have. We were talking about the Ninja Gaiden clone messenger.
Ninja Gaiden, yeah. We were talking about Ninja Gaiden, the torch bearing of old games into new games. I'm gonna jump into you want to jump into one? Let's see. We got a list here. Well, some of these you haven't played. Yeah. Let's start. Let's get the Pokemon stuff out of the way.
All right.
There's some Pokemon clones, Monster Collection clones that I'm not going to talk about the Monster Hunter one or the Dragon Quest one. Dragon Quest, I feel like it's kind of an insult to call the Dragon Quest Monster Collection game a Pokemon clone, considering they beat Pokemon to it. But I'm not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is there's several here. I'll tell you the one that I played. I'll tell you the two that I didn't. Well, the two that I played, the two that I didn't. The two that I didn't play. Cassette Beasts, Koromon. Look like really good Poke clones. Very interested in them. I'll get around to them eventually. Look like good torchbearers. The one that I did play, Nexamon, I think was a phone game that is now just a game. But it's basically just Pokemon Red, Blue, whatever. Not a lot to comment on other than the fact that it's doing monsters, got type advantages and things like that. That's interesting. The last one I want to say is Temtem. Temtem had a lot of potential. It's kind of, I'm not going to talk about the controversies around it. There are some. If you are going to get into it, you should probably look into that to see if that is something that you're upset about. Draw the line in the sand as you will. I got it pretty much when it came out. I think I actually even bought it during early access. It's multiplayer. It's online. It's what we want from Pokemon. That's another thing I didn't say in the previous one. Oh no, I think it was a side quest. Talking about Pokemon games. You're gonna have to listen to the podcast because you might miss stuff. Okay.
There's a lot of lore that you have to keep up on when you're listening to us talk.
You can play it multiplayer though. That's what I want to see. Of course, the raid system in Pokemon is very fun. I had a blast with the raid system in Scarlet and Violet. Say what you want. Nail me to the cross or whatever and persecute me for this. But shit, man, it was fun. Temtem, what does it do good? Stamina bar instead of power points. PP. It's always double battles. There's always strategy that you have to do on all your turns. Of course, you have to use strategy in Pokemon, but the strategy is aimed towards kids. I think there's something to say about that, too. About Pokemon. We should have added this on the side quest again, but me, a seasoned Pokevet, comes in to play the new Pokemon game. I trash the game because I understand type advantages. I understand how to build a team that can be competitive. Blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. I'm watching my kids, my daughter 6, my son 4. They are not good at Pokemon, folks. Guess who the game is aimed at? Them. Yeah, you're right. Good. You're listening. Okay. Cross that off. We're done. I don't want to talk anymore.
I think the problem, obviously, we don't want to linger on this because I think we can both go off the deep end when it comes to Pokemon.
Going off the deep end right now.
I think the problem is anytime you get the indie version of a game, you need to reference something just well enough that you understand the genre, but then you need to do your own thing. And I think the problem with a lot of Pokemon clones is, or monster collection games is, they try to be Pokemon. Instead of adding something new or changing the formula or anything like that, they just try to copy Pokemon. And then it's like, here, it's a monster collection game. Why don't you like it? And if those are the two options, then you're always going to choose the original option. So for me, you're exactly right. If you were going to create the perfect torchbearer monster collection game, and this is going to sound crazy, this is a way back throwback. I'm talking about the old school Monster Rancher games where you had, like, you could scan the QR codes of stuff, and that would give you monsters. You could put CDs in your PlayStation, and that would give you a unique monster. Like, just give me a unique.
Bring up Monster Hunter, Monster Rancher.
Okay, well, he's gone full off the rails.
I had to run away so I wouldn't yell that too loud when you're in the middle of what you're talking about. You brought up Monster Rancher today?
Exactly. How else are you going to beat Pokemon? You can't. It's bigger
Digimon.
than the mouse.
What are we doing? Pokemon. Yeah. We're talking about Digimon, Monster Rancher. What? Dragon Quest. I'm talking about the indie guys.
Here's a crazy idea. Give me. I mean, we're really going off the rails here. Give me the NWO from old school wrestling. Have everybody team up against Pokemon. Give me Digimon. Give me Monster Rancher. Give me everybody teamed up against Pokemon in this like ultimate battle royale game. And it's just a middle finger to Pokemon. And let's do it. Let's get all the best ideas from everybody. Who says no? You and I walking fucking Lord of the Rings down the fucking road on the way talking about torchbearers. Fucking Gollum comes up. No, it's fucking Tom Bombadil comes up. He's like, would you like to fucking see my wife and eat some food in my house? And we're like, sure. Yeah, let's talk about fucking Monster Rancher and Digimon versus fucking Pokemon. But hey, I'm talking about indie games. Monster Rancher's not fucking indie. It had an anime. Okay, well, is it on the same level as Pokemon? No.
No! Pokemon's not even on the same level as Pokemon.
Listen, how do you beat McDonald's? You don't beat McDonald's by being Burger King. You beat McDonald's by having three restaurants team up together. Yes, and you have options. And then you just... I don't know. Cross this off the list. We're not talking about Pokemon anymore.
Fucking crossed it. I crossed it because I knew. Okay. Hey, go ahead and type your angry comment in the thing below about some of the stuff he said. I already forgot. There's one you're going to get a comment about because I don't remember what it was, and I can't roll back the footage right now to figure it out.
Go ahead.
I already forgot.
Send me angry comment. I'll die on this hill. Go ahead. Throw your fruit at me. I need some vitamin C.
We're both going to die. This is your fault. What are we doing?
We're going to lose our Pokemon sponsorship?
Give me the horn. Give me the fucking horn.
Wrong game.
I don't care. I'm crossing it off.
All right, cross it off.
The next game, I don't even know. I never got around to playing this.
Okay.
Did you get around to playing this? It was right before Elder Scrolls V came out.
Yeah.
It was literally right before it. Everybody was like chomping at the bit to play Elder Scrolls V. Skyrim. Calm. Go ahead. Wake up. Get your arrows in the knees. Whatever. Type that. Fucking okay. Kingdoms of Amalur. Did I say that right?
Sure. I don't know.
Did you play it?
Who cares? I did. I played a little bit of it, and I'm not sure that is the type of game for me. You know what I mean? Like, you have it, even on your list, you have question marks over what this is emulating. And I agree with you 100%. I think this game tried to do so many things that you can't really pinpoint what it is that it's trying to emulate, if that makes sense. And so that, to me, is where it fell flat. I don't know. Those games are hard for me to judge because I've always been, if I got to choose between Elder Scrolls or Fallout, I take Fallout. You have always kind of been the fantasy guy. And so I don't know. It's one of those weird games where you know what it is? This would be a great game to get remade. Maybe it's not in its perfect form now, but maybe if you remade it, it could be something.
Anthony's got a list, folks. Why don't you put that on your list?
Okay. It's right next to Fear. First Encounter, what was it? First Encounter Action Recon Team or something? I don't know.
Folks, comment down below if you want to see me play through Fear.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a fun stream. I think you would.
My mind.
We could get you one of those heart rate monitors and see like just how scared you were. That was him falling down in fear. Did you just fling a drink across the room? What was it?
Nothing. Mind your business.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's none of my business. Chat, stop asking him questions.
We're not live.
Oh,
who are you chatting to?
I
don't know. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Comment below if you played Kingdoms of Amalur and what are the good points? What makes it? What game is it trying to fucking emulate?
Yeah. Yeah, you do the podcast.
Yeah, you just.
We've been sitting here for what episode are we on? 17. We've been doing this for 17 episodes, and we haven't gotten a word back from you people.
You people. What do you mean, you people? I'm cutting that.
I think we keep alienating chat until we get down to the core audience.
I'm going to alienate you.
Okay.
Next game. Next game. Next game on the list. I love playing turn-based strategies.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite turn-based strategies?
Oh, of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? Front Mission.
Front Mission 4?
Front Mission 4 was an incredible turn-based game. Incredible.
I think Final Fantasy Tactics.
That's a good answer.
But look, folks. Look what just happened. You know how you were talking about I'm the Fallout guy? Mm-hmm. He's the Elder Scrolls guy. Mm-hmm. Look what just happened.
Yeah.
Science, past, swords, guns. There you go. You got us. Yeah. You already probably figured that one out, I guess. But I loved those kind of games. And I know you like those kind of games too. Yep. And when this is kind of segue us to the next one, when Super Smash Brothers Melee came out and they had Roy and Marth in it. I know. Type your angry comments about Sword Boys, all you want. But listen, when those guys came out, I locked in on Roy. Locked in. And I was like, what game is he from? And they were like, you know what? It's Fire Emblem. And here's the game. Also Hector. Wow. What a man. But anyway, love those games. I remember when Advanced Wars came out. That's what you can see where I'm going. People who played the game I'm about to say can see where I'm going. Advanced Wars, great game. A long-standing series of Nintendo, I think. There was a lot of Wars games, but Advanced Wars was an incredible series on the Game Boy Advance. We had Advanced Wars 1, we had Advanced Wars 2, and then when the DS came out, we had Advanced Wars fucking number Dual Strike, and then the fucking cherry that no one plays. You should go back and watch somebody play through this game. Days of Ruin. Great. People were like, oh, I don't want to play the fucking war game. You know, who's got to be serious? So they made a series one. People were like, this sucks. And then the war series died. And when it died, a phoenix rose from the ashes, and it was Wargroove, the spiritual successor of the Wars games playstyle. Very fun. Set in medieval times. Great art. Great story. Cutesy fun, just like in Advanced Wars. There's a second one out. I haven't got a chance to get it and play it, but I played the first one all the way through. I was working through the hard maps, but I am a slow man. So, both in figuring stuff out and also I'm slow. So, I don't know. Wargroove. I don't know if you're a Advanced Wars fan at all, or if you played any of them.
I loved Advanced Wars. I did not get a chance to play Wargroove, but it's like you said. I think those games were kind of brushed under the rug a little bit because Advanced Wars were a handheld game, but like you said, there were completely other games in that franchise that got completely overshadowed by the handheld versions. Yeah, that's one of those series that I would love to see come back and make a resurgence. I loved the Advanced Wars games.
They did. They tried recently. It was really sad. They remade Advance Wars 1 for the Switch. It's called Reboot Camp. The little side quest here. It was not well received.
I gotcha.
There's some parts of it that I like, and there's other parts that could have been performed better. Specifically,
Yeah.
I think they just missed the mark on the graphics. They could have probably just done what Wargroove had done and just done cool pixel art, or just used the old pixel art. I don't care.
To me, that's what made the Advanced War games so fun, was there was that cutaway to the action, and the action didn't require a lot of graphical intensity. It was just, like you said, pixel art, maybe 1 or 2 frames of action, and then sprites of the explosion. And it's so frustrating when a game like that doesn't survive. And that's kind of where this list came from. Genres that we wish would come back, or that have been carried by indie games. And Advanced Wars, I think, is one of those. I will add Wargroove to the list of games I need to play here coming up.
Oh yeah, you got to. Another thing that's really interesting about the Wars fan base is they have a website where they do ranked matches, and though that website's called Advanced Wars by Web, it originally was basically like email Advanced War.
Oh, interesting.
Just like chess, like mailing somebody a letter. I move my knight to e7, and then you have to wait a week. People were playing like that in this Advanced Wars Bio. It's so interesting. It's almost it's on the same level of interesting to me as when you told me there's a fucking sect of people out there playing just Mario Baseball in a league and playing it.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I went back and watched some videos of people playing that. Very fun. People do that too. They do Advanced Wars like that. Now, of course, it's updated now. It's no longer takes an email, but you still are waiting for your opponent's move, which is fun. I think that's great. There's people out there doing that. Of course, they play like live matches, but then there's matches being played like during lunch break. You do a couple moves and then you wait for the guy.
Sure.
You do your turn, really, is what it is. Your turn, my turn is how Advanced Wars is played. If you've never played it, it's kind of like chess. Kinda like chess is hard. It is hard like chess. How do I describe this?
Imagine a pre-made map, and you decide what chess pieces get added to the board, and then you use those pieces to go and capture resources. Chess is a really good metaphor for that, because it really is about positioning and maneuverability more so than going to shoot you off of the board. It's much more about maneuverability and resource management than it is just raw power.
To add to that, I thought of a few things. There's like type advantages, if you will, where like a pawn isn't as good as a queen kind of deal, where like tanks versus infantrymen. And not every map is you can add pieces. Sometimes you're just given so many pieces. And so you're trying to play that war of attrition. Like, can I take more of his pieces before he takes more of mine? Or key pieces, I take his key pieces and I can win her, he, who. Ho ha he ho. Sorry, Bowler's Gate. The turn-based strategy is more my speed most of the time anyway. I don't know. We were talking about this. Slowing down. Getting a little older. Reflexes aren't as good. The big part of it is we don't have as much time as we used to when we were 20 and 19 and 15 and whatever. So I like playing the more cerebral, slow pace. I can pause. Somebody's going to interrupt me anyway, so I better be able to. You son of a bitch. Especially, hey, developers everywhere. Let me pause your fucking cutscene. Emergency might come up, and I don't want to miss your good story, okay?
Yeah, that's just common. That's just common decency right there, I think.
Come on. I agree with that. Oh, I said it. Yes.
I agree. I also agree with myself.
As a matter of fact, past me, in my opinion, past me is a separate person. I can comment on him.
That's fair.
We're away. Okay, all right. We've reached the last like couple of games. Well, we were talking about like indie
Yeah.
developers carrying the torch, but we also were talking about indie developers who are challenging the current shittily maintained torch. Give me that.
Yes.
Kind of mentality. You don't know what you're fucking doing. Give me that. I don't think that's how you apply to this particular one. We're going to talk about games that are Smash Brothers like, because Smash really invented its own genre in fighting games, its own thing. What do you think about that? You think that?
Yeah, I think it's such a weird mix between a party game and a competitive fighting game. And sometimes I think even the game doesn't know what it wants to be. And those other games, like you said, they had kind of fallen off, and then maybe an indie developer came along and either drug them back into greatness or just took the torch and they became great. I think Smash is in a really good place right now with Smash Ultimate, but these games are kind of offshoots of that. Maybe harkening back to older Smash games as opposed to what Smash is now.
I'm ready for another horn battle. Switch 2's coming out. You say Smash Ultimate. Do you think they'll just keep porting Smash Ultimate up? Can they do that?
I don't think they can with the licensing of those characters.
I don't think they can. You are probably, oh boy, that's a mess. So
I would love that to be the case.
You think so?
Yeah.
No. I think yes. No way they can let it die.
Well, they won't let it die, but I don't think they'll do Smash Ultimate again. I think they have to change what Smash is. So in my mind, I think they go back to almost like Smash 64, where they trim the roster back down to, okay, these are the core Nintendo characters, and that's what the game will be.
You're probably right on that. They may have to, I don't know, bring in some Waluigi types. Oh, we almost left off fucking Anton Blast. It just got announced for, or is now on the Switch as of whenever that fucking thing came out and talked about it. But Anton Blast, we won't spend a lot of time on it for a second here. We're going to jump over to it real quick so we can get it out of the way. Anton Blast, Wario-like. Wario Land games, they stopped making them after 4. So this is, Anton Blast is that. It's, hey, did you like Wario Land? Well, I've got news for you.
This is one of those weird cases where WarioWare games were their own thing. And when those things go away, people miss that. There are people who are diehard fans. I enjoyed those games, but I would never call myself a diehard Wario game fan. But yeah, I think this is exactly what this list is for. People championing something that is gone, is you can no longer play that style of game, whatever it may be. Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you the last time. This is maybe where they called the what was the Sega Virtualware where you it was like a red. Is that what it was called? The Sega Virtualware?
What are you talking about?
I played a Wario game on that.
That wasn't Sega.
I remember.
Wario's not Sega.
I don't know. That was
Virtual Boy.
No, I'm sorry, not a Virtual Boy. That's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, I had to. When you said Sega, I pictured a red Sega. I was like, I didn't know about red Sega, but I don't know shit about Sega, so I was ready to learn today.
No. But again, that wasn't even a WarioWare style game. That was like a Mario clone.
Well, I'm talking about the Wario Land games. So WarioWare is a different. It's like almost even separate from that. It's so.
Yeah.
But of course, Anton Blast and the guys behind that. Once again, I can only ever remember the title of your game. I really apologize for not remembering the name of your company or whatever it's called. Programming group.
One of these days, we're gonna have like a production manager, and we'll just have somebody else do this for us.
Smack us around.
Yeah, they'll just hit us with the newspapers.
Oh, I'm getting a note from the booth right now. Get a note from the Google could do it for us,
Yeah, you're right. We'll get an AI assistant. That's what we need.
No, we don't. We're old. Well, maybe that's why we should.
We'll get like a Space Ghost Coast to Coast setup.
I want to be Brack.
Okay. I want to be Space Ghost.
You can be Space Ghost and I'll be Brack. Hey, Hey, Space Ghost, we got a guest, and it's Jared from Hoosier Main. Hi, Space Ghost.
And then we just immediately get canceled.
Yeah, we already are. Talking about Smash games. Talking about you. If you're just joining us.
Hey guys, we're just starting up the stream.
I'm fucking. First we talk about.
We tried.
First we talk. Hey. First, lock it up. You fucking lock it up.
All right.
Lock it up. All right. The first two we should talk about of the Smash clones are definitely the ones that were big fucking name companies that were like, oh, Super Smash Bros. Is gone. It's not developing anymore. Here's our version. The first one. Hey, which one's the first one? You pick the first one to talk about. You talk about it.
Okay.
Did you play them?
I will talk about it.
Did you play them?
Yeah, I played both of them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you talk about both of them.
Okay, I will. Did you play either one of them?
You lock it up. I played demo versions of them or whatever.
That's right. Okay. So the two games, we haven't even introduced the games that we're talking about. We're sitting here bantering back and forth about nothing.
I'm going to banter you.
So the first one was Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl, and the second one was Warner Brothers Multiverse. And these games were unapologetic Smash clones. And these companies just came out and basically said, we're going to make a Smash Brothers clone with our characters. Here you go.
It's going to be better.
And and it's going to be better. You're going to like it because it's got SpongeBob in it. And obviously they were not. What's the best way to describe this? Smash Brothers is so tight and controlled, and these games were not. They were very loose, not balanced. I think one of the characters had like a one-hit KO that never got patched. And I think Multiverses came out, and like there might have been a little bit of controversy about this. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but they basically like pulled their game from the market, and they were like, "Yeah, this was just an open beta, just kidding," when they were selling copies of the game, and then came back a year later, and then people were like, well, "I thought this game was dead," and nobody played it anymore. I don't know, but yeah, those were kind of the two name brand Smash clones. And really, neither one of them did anything unique or special to set themselves apart outside of the characters that they brought into the games themselves. Wait, what? So you said you played the demo. I'm assuming you played the demo of the Multiverse, the Warner Brothers Multiverse. What did you think of that?
Obviously, my favorite thing about these games, this brand, this style, is just the robust cast of characters that I love. The other thing is voice lines are really important. I remember there being a stink about one of them didn't have the voice actors for. Which one was that?
Yeah, that was the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
I think that's really, really important to a Smash clone, is representing that character that you're bringing in properly. Nintendo set the stage. You have to follow it. And to come out and say, hey, we're gonna be better, and then there's no voice lines. It's like, you gotta have the voices.
And you're exactly right. I think the absurdity of having like LeBron James fight Bugs Bunny, or Batman versus Superman, or whatever you want to do, Batman versus Arya Stark, who was one of the characters. I think those absurd things are what makes Smash clones so fun. The problem is exactly how you said it, is when it's not a faithful recreation of those characters, it feels fake. And you kind of lose a little bit of that luster. I don't know. I don't think either one of those games were necessarily like ever going to try to replace Smash. I think they were just kind of riding the coattails of like, oh, look, Nintendo's pulling out all the chips. Maybe we should do the same. And neither one of them, I don't think, really ever caught on because of that.
Hold on now. You can hear me typing.
Yeah, he's putting a listing on Indeed for our AI assistant.
What was it about? Okay, this is the last one. You're fucking Indeed?
Yeah. What do you use?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
You use LinkedIn?
Sure.
We can't say those things. We got sponsors we're trying to.
Yeah, you want to get mentioned on the show.
Hey, if you are a job hosting If you're a job hosting website,
You got to buy me a game. You got to 99 cents a day.
YouTube.
Get me a polar. Get Anthony a polar pop. Listen. What? Okay. What was it about?
Yeah.
So Stardew Valley 2016. The year before that, 2015. Sorry, I'm jumping away from fucking the big corp games.
That's fine. Yeah, let's stop talking about that.
We're going over to Rivals of Aether. This is I wonder if this is like some kind of furry thing that people don't like it. Maybe I don't know why it didn't catch on. I was really interested. Let's take it back. Talking about furry things. Robin Hood. Chaos Theory. Robin Hood. Robin Hood. Man. The Fox one. It did things to us. That's why I look at this game, this Rivals, and its pixel art, which is really interesting because there was all these like Smash clones after Smash Melee came out that was on made popular by Flash artists of the time period of Smash Brothers Melee. So this is like in that vein of 2D Smash game. Really interesting. Has its own world, its own story. They recently made a 3D version you can demo. It ran like shit on my rig, but my rig is shit. But really interesting to see that game make the jump to 3D. Somebody trying to make more in that genre of Smash. What do you even call that type of fighting game? Well, Chad, email me that.
Yeah.
Put that in the comments wherever we're at. You're listening to us on YouTube. Put it in the comments.
Yeah. And if you're on Spotify, you can go to hell.
You go. All right. I don't know. Do we just listen to it and then start responding?
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, what is there to listen to? Go fuck yourself?
Yeah, Spotify. What were you even thinking? All right. Hey, folks, we're cutting in here. We lost the end of the episode. We don't fucking remember what we were talking about as far as Rivals of the Aether and it being a torchbearer. But if you're on Spotify, don't go to hell.
Yeah, no, we need all the views we can get. I'm really sorry about that. That's probably why the recording got ruined, was Spotify heard that. That's
got to be. So, I mean, really, there's one more torchbearer that I did see.
Oh, okay.
Earlier this week, I sent it to you. That Unmetal game, where it's like a Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear, NES Metal Gear game, but it's like machismo, like in your Broforce style. Tongue-in-cheek Solid Snake.
Obviously, neither one of us have played it, but going off of the trailer, anytime you can capture the feel of a game like that so faithfully, I think that is kind of what we've been talking about, just the idea of carrying that idea along to the next generation. And sure, maybe it's stylized or hyper stylized, whatever you want to call it. But I think that needs to happen to, kind of carry that torch along. I don't want a 1-to-1 clone of Metal Gear. I would just play Metal Gear. The game is already perfect. So for you to take it kind of tongue in cheek, that to me that's my brand 100%. I've talked about in previous episodes about Time Splitters, where I'm much more a fan of the parody, of the funny side of things. So to me, that's right up my alley.
And to add to this entire topic, the last 2 sessions have been about it. I think it's really important to see these kind of games, to know that these kind of games are being made and carrying on these ideas of these old games, these old masters, but also making it slightly different, slightly new, some new take on it, or making it better, or cranking up what was there to 11. I think that's really important, and that's why we spent all this time talking about it and trying to bring it to attention. You got any parting words here for the folks at home?
See ya.